Welcome back to Stories with Dave. Hey, in keeping with kind of the theme last time, I'm going to share some more stuff that I've been working on recently. This is, unpublished fiction, um, kind of hot off the presses kind of deal. Hokey Pokey, I wrote back in, between 17 and 18. I think I wrote it right and published it in 19 or whatever. Whatever. Quite a lot of words under the proverbial bridge since then. I'm excited to share my newer stuff. I'm a lot more proud of it than I am of Hokey Pokey. It's unpublished. Probably won't find a publisher. Probably not ever. But this is some of my stuff from my experiences with Habitat for Humanity in the Philippines. This is called Making a Ripple. And it's kind of whatever cultural immersion. Yeah. You drop into the province like a pebble into a pond, and that makes a little ripple. 2 days ago, you came as a surprise to a rice farmer walking a mile away down the road toward town. Today, friends caution you not to travel on that road anymore without company. There are rumors of your imminent kidnapping for ransom. You feel eyes lingering on you from inside passing tricycles, and a crosshair is resting between your shoulder blades like the palm of an invisible hand. Chain smoking alone at night on the patio of the staff house, you marvel at the oddity of a mid-century American radio voice reciting travel warnings in bursts of static beaming down from somewhere among the stars. Americans are advised to avoid all travel on the island of Mindanao, where unstable conditions are likely to occur anywhere at any time. Americans traveling on Mindanao are encouraged to restrict their travel to urban areas to avoid traveling at night. You awake You awake to dogs, to chickens, to distant laughter cutting through the morning like the smell of fresh coffee. Curious neighbors linger at the periphery of the staff house yard, coy as co-eds hugging the bleachers at a high school mixer. Neighborhood children gather like birds in the near distance. They stare, giggling, scattered into flight by sudden eye contact, only to settle again at a safe distance, watching your every move. You get the feeling you're even better than TV. Louise had a policy, Bob says. If she left the front door open, they could feel free to come in and read the children's books. If the door was closed, that meant stay away. If you aren't comfortable with that, now would probably be a time to speak up. There's a library of Dr. Seuss and Richard Scarry books piled under the coffee table, and a decade's worth of National Geographic on a bookshelf next to the front door. It's okay, you say. I'd rather not start out as the guy who took all the books away. You mean that, but at the same time, you have a feeling you may live to regret the decision. Besides, you say, they seem like a great bunch of kids. Just remember to shut the door if what you want is privacy, Bob says, grinning at you over the top of his glasses. You'll see. You won't believe how many kids will fit in here. You'll come back from the CR and find them packed in here tighter than sardines from one end of the staff house to the other, as quiet as church mice turning pages. That's all right. At least they're quiet, right? They like to steal the papayas, too. Sometimes they'll spy on you through the hollow block when you're taking a shit. No, they don't. On my mother's grave, may she live to be 100. A lot of them have never seen an American take a shit before. What does that have to do with taking a shit? Well, for starters, Jesus was an American. Morning language tutorial is a couple miles walk through a rough jungle highway across rice paddies reflecting sunrise over a volcanic horizon. Standard B-roll non-flick tableau, right down to the woven conical sun hats the rice pickers wear. They live in accidental hamlets in the shade archipelagos that converge at midday under the palm trees growing along the highway. Their voices call out to you through the heat, saying "Kano" in a way that sounds just like nigger. Kids flit among the tree trunks in the twilight, hunting you at a safe distance with makeshift bows, bottle cap rifles, an entire arsenal of homemade weapons with training wheels. A tricycle hums past, and a passenger in the back seat leans forward just enough to peer out at you with hard eyes for a moment before the rooster tail of dust obscures everything in view. By 9 o'clock, Mom Ubai waits quietly, sitting delicate as an orchid transplanted to the shade of a mango tree by the back by the blackboard in the garden across from the little pond where the giant lilies bloom. Dragonflies hover through motes of morning sunlight where willows bow along the water's edge, and it's quiet enough to feel the hum of bees gathering nectar up in the mango trees. The chaos of the street is distant now, part of a distant world, from the world of the little path along the pond into Storyville. Part of a different world from the world of the little path along the pond into Storyville. And there she sits like a model posing for an artist. All you lack is paint. Everything about these mornings is mythic, dreamlike, the light diffuse and golden, the breeze light and fragrant. You pass the hours all but ignoring your scheduled lessons, conversing freely in English. You talk about the English romantics. She recites them from memory. You reciprocate terribly. You tell her funny stories. She laughs. You snack on longan and sip calamansi juice over ice in the shade by the blackboard where she writes new vocabulary words in chalk each morning. It's her good faith down payment on each day's language lesson. Best intentions printed in white chalk for all the neighbors to see. You promise to double your evening drill card time. If you fail, she will bear the shame. You see, it's cultural. Walking home again through the lingering clouds of diesel in the afternoon heat, past makeshift tindahans and bodegas where mystery machine sounds emerge, deconstructing the day. Big blades grinding against steel, shrieking through dense lumber in dark rooms under humming hurricane fans. Dogs begrudged indoor shade cling to narrowing shadows among scattered pallets stacked with copra, rice, cement, stacks of dried corn husks, bundled lengths of cable. Toy boy drinking circles assemble in the interstitial spaces, gaining and losing attendees at the current of the street. Tagay, tagay, one stick na lang. Are there very many Filipino girls in your place? You've been here long enough to guesstimate the likelihood of foolishness by counting the empty flats of rum and jugs of rice wine, and by noticing the hue and relative permanence of the dried tungok stains, circling the mouths of those thus encircled. Walking home again, but it's no use. You haven't made it from Storyville to Barrio Crossing since the second week of class. Dimple has a standing order among his barcadas in the truck drivers union to pick you off the street whenever they see you. Highest priority. You attempt a week of low-profile evasive maneuvers, manifesting smallness, taking back road long cuts and detours through town, to explore the Palinque or to visit the inimitable Doc Solomon at the Kapabahayan Clinic. Now and then you actually think you're clean, only to catch a glimpse of Dimple or Boy ducking behind a pig pen or a produce display, shadowing you from a distant obscurity of the afternoon market crowd. The running irony du jour is that everyone, including those following you, is almost 100% certain you're some flavor of spook sent to North Cotabato to get a fix on the world's socio-political temperature from right there at its rectum. But then, everyone seems to be spooking on you for some reason. They all think you're CIA, Doc says, grinning, eyes twitching double speed at a cookout on a little ranch on the fringes of town. The twitch is involuntary, but you suspect he exaggerates it for dramatic effect, character building on the fly. By they, he means his fellow Rotarians who are now standing, heads bowed, in a long line across a well-appointed garden to bless the lechon gleaming at them from a table a short distance away. You've just learned that when lechon is served, prayers are offered with one eye open in order to give the supplicants a fighting chance to score an ear. It's a game of speed and agility, but one fraught with cultural nuance, just like living in northern Cotabato. I wouldn't let it bother you, though, he says. I mean, so do I. Why else would you be here? Fair enough. There are only so many costumes available for American travelers on Mindanao in 1990. You can be a gold hunter, a Catholic priest, a Mormon missionary, a pedophile, or a spook. One local assumption, hard earned from long, intimate experience, is that at least three of those costumes are interchangeable. Yet another says the spook costume is the default setting for Americans. Why else would they be here? Parentheses, don't say altruism. Bob wears a beard, even in the heat. He says he's hiding in plain sight. People just assume, he says, grinning. Sometimes they drop to their knees right in front of him, hands clasped in prayer, and he blesses them anyway. What the hell, he says. A blessing's a goddamn blessing at the end of the day. There are 1,000 uses for your presence here. occurs to you one night, sitting alone on the back porch watching the spider hunter's torches rise and fall on a broken line along the trees on the hillside above the rice paddies, that you are a malleable symbol, a personage on loan, one whose meaning is entirely dependent on context and rhetorical moment. You are the human equivalent of reader response theory. You're a spook, a cleric, a symbol of hope on loan, a symbol of wealth up for grabs. It depends on who they want you to be. You're more pet than volunteer, but more pilgrim than expat. You have a few friends to guide you, your intuition, and those intermittent warnings from home that arrive in bursts of static from among the stars. Thanks for joining me. Hope you dug it. More to come, I hope. We'll see. See you next time.